and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Angie and I'm a chemist who loves makeup. And I like to research the ingredients in makeup products and report back my findings to you. And today we are going to be talking about the Jeffree Star Magic Concealer and Powder that he just released. So if that sounds interesting to you, just keep on watching. So the first ingredient in the concealer is water. Usually when I see this, I will assume that it's not as full coverage, but in this case, that's not really accurate. It's not 100% full coverage. It did say could cover up tattoos, but I did have 2 eyeliner marks on my hand when I tested out in the store, and I was still able to see it, but it still did cover a lot of the discoloration that would have been on my hand. So in the ingredients list for the concealers, you can't actually tell where titanium dioxide is, but in the color correctors, which are green and peach, I believe, you can see that titanium dioxide is very high up on the list. And on the Jeffree Star website, it does say that the concealers contain 20% pigment, which I'm gonna assume also includes titanium dioxide. So you might see titanium dioxide in sunscreens, but in the case of the concealer, it's actually used to increase opacity, and this is gonna help make the Jeffree Star concealers more full coverage. And the next ingredient is Cyclopentasiloxane. I've talked about this ingredient a lot. This is a volatile silicone. Volatile means that it evaporates quickly, which helps the concealer dry down. When it is wet, however, Cyclopentasiloxane is thin, so it's gonna help it spread easily and helps fill in fine lines and wrinkles, which is obviously helpful for a concealer. And this concealer does spread out really well. Like I said, I tested it in the Morphe store, had a little bit on my hand just to try to shade match, and it's a little dot spread out on my entire hand. So a little bit does go a long way, so you don't have to use a lot of this concealer to get some sort of coverage. Cyclopentasiloxane is used in conjunction with cyclopentasiloxane. These are combined to help make the liquid base of the concealer, as well as methyltrimethicone, which actually evaporates faster than cyclopentasiloxane. And these ingredients also help prevent water loss. This formula didn't feel dry, however, and you do have some time to work with it before it does dry down completely. One of the ingredients that I believe does this is Butylene Glycol. Butylene Glycol is also pretty thin, so it's not going to make the formula feel thick, whereas something like glycerin is going to have a thicker consistency. But Butylene Glycol also has humectant properties, which means it's really good at absorbing moisture from the environment, and this is going to help it feel more hydrating on the skin when you use the Jeffree Star concealer. And this helps it not dry down as quickly. The other ingredient that I think helps this not dry down as fast is neopentyl glycol diethylhexanoate. And this is an emollient, which is going to also help keep the skin moist so it doesn't feel dried out. And it's thought of as a good alternative to silicones, because it also has good spreadability, which is a characteristic of silicones. So I was concerned about the amount that you get. It is only 3.5 milliliters, which is about 0.12 ounces. For reference, Tarte Shape Tape is 0.33 ounces, and the Too Faced Concealer is 0.5 ounces. Those do cost a little bit more, I think about the $27 range, and the Jeffree Star Magic Concealer retails for $22. So you are getting less, but at the same time, you also have to remember this is really, really full coverage, and you're also paying for that. So a little bit does go a long way. So this concealer isn't gonna run out super fast. I know some really thin concealers that I've gotten do run out fast, but this one, as long as you don't have a heavy hand with it, you should be able to make it last for a while. So we're gonna move on to the loose powder, but if you found this video informational, give this video a like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you will always know when I upload a new video like this. So for this powder, I didn't get to test it out in the store, but I did watch a lot of reviews to kind of get an idea of how it performs and what people think of it. And I'm gonna link some of those videos that I watched down below so that way you guys can watch people trying it on as well. So first off, the one thing we aren't gonna see on an ingredients list for something like a powder is how fine they mill it. A lot of these reviews I were watching did say this powder felt very, very fine. So basically, they throw it in this mill and it's gonna make it as fine as possible. By milling it, that means it's gonna help sit better on top of the skin. If the particle size is too big, you're not gonna cover as much surface area. And the first ingredient in this powder is mica. Mica is a powder that is translucent and sheer, which makes it ideal for a face powder. And it's gonna reflect light, which is gonna give you a smoother appearance. It also has good skin adhesion properties, so it'll give a less powdery appearance than something that was just like talc based, which is the second ingredient in this powder. So talc is another filler ingredient for powders, and this is gonna help absorb oil. But like I said, there's less than the mica, so it won't be super matte because the mica is gonna help give you more of a glow. Silica is also in there, and this is gonna give the powder a nice feel to it when it goes on the skin. And this is also gonna help aid in that skin smoothing effect. So the next two ingredients I'm gonna refer to as dry binders, which means that they are gonna help the powder stick together. And these ingredients can have multiple functions, but this is what I believe they are for in this particular powder. So these ingredients are boron nitride, kaolin, and polylactic acid. So like I said, this is gonna help the powder stay together, and I think in turn this helps it stick to the skin as well, making it feel less powdery. Boron nitride and kaolin also help absorb oil, and boron nitride also has reflective properties that help with that blurring effect. Polylactic acid is going to help it spread on the skin as well, and it is going to enhance the texture, so it's going to feel nice when it goes onto the skin. And this powder actually didn't seem like a bad deal. It contains 10 grams of product, which is exactly the same as that of the Cover FX powder, which is one of my favorite powders. And the Jeffree Star powder is $22, so that is $13 less than the Cover FX powder. When I was in the Morphe store, I was actually considering buying this. I had ended up not buying it because I just have so much makeup. I'm trying to go through it. Let me know if you guys can relate. But they didn't have my color in the store. I think I figured out I was C7 was the one that I wanted to go for, but they didn't have it in the store. So I just decided to pass on it for now. I have so many other concealers that I should probably use them up anyway. And as for the powder, same thing. But overall, I think these are actually gonna be really good products from what I can see and from what I've seen in pictures and reviews that people have done. So like I said, I'm gonna list some of those reviews that I watched down below, as well as some resources and links to the products down below. And again, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss when I upload a new video. With that, I will see you next time. Bye!